Rochelle here, and I'm back to share some yarn goodness with you all today. Okay, let's jump right in. Today, I'm going to be talking about my crocheting process for making the summer crochet top by Mama in a Stitch. So this is amazing. I love the name Summer Vacation Top, but I wear tank tops all year round, so I will definitely be getting lots of wear out of this project. So let's go ahead and talk about the details of the pattern, the yarn, and all that good stuff. So this is a free pattern. However, if you want like a PDF version without any ads, then you can buy the PDF version. But other than that, if you don't mind the ads, you can just use the free version. Not a problem. This yarn that I use is DK weight, and that is what is called for in the pattern. And the bust circumference for this pattern ranges between a 31 to 51 inch bust, and that is 79 to 130 centimeters. And also for this project, I got to use one of my favorite hook sizes, which is a US 8 or H hook, and that is a 5.0 millimeter crochet hook. And I just, between the H and the I, like those are my favorite crochet hook sizes. Now, the yarn that I use is my hand-dyed yarn, Queen's Yarn Boutique, in the Ruby colorway. And it is on my Minnesota DK base, and that is 50% superwash merino wool and 50% cotton. So I really like it. And I ended up using 5 skeins of yarn for this. Each skein is 231 yards, 100 grams. So yeah, and that is 211 meters. And so I ended up using 5 skeins of this, which came up to a total of 1,155 yards. And so I ended up making the medium size, but that in itself is a whole nother story, which I will get to. So that leads me to my next point. I was bad and I did not gauge swatch. And y'all, I paid for it later. Okay, I paid for it later. I did not gauge swatch, and I'll tell you all a little bit more about what happened and all that good stuff. The finished product I love, but it took a minute to get here. So I did wet block this garment after it was done, and I did like I usually do. I soaked it in water, towel dried, and then I laid it out on a blocking mat. And when I did this, I did not pin it. I just simply shaped it with my hands. Let's talk about the designer. So as I mentioned before, this is designed by Mama in a Stitch, but her name is Jessica Reyes Patez. Hope I said that right, or at least close. And so she has a lot of beautiful patterns, and she can be found on Instagram, Ravelry, and she also has her own website as well, and she has a YouTube channel. She hasn't posted in a little while, but it still has really good information on it about how-to videos, how to make certain crochet stitches. So definitely go check out her YouTube channel, and as always, I will leave the links to everything in the description box below. So this top is crocheted in 2 pieces. And the way it works is that you crochet 2 identical pieces and then you seam. So I had to seam the shoulders and I used a whip stitch. I'm very, very happy with my whip stitch. And so I did that on both sides, and I do believe I came in. I do have it. I have a Ravelry page with this on my specific measurements and things like that that I did. So definitely check that out after the video if you have any questions on how much I seamed and how much I left out and all that good stuff. But yes, I did seam it on both sides, of course. And then I seamed it down the sides as well. And I think my seaming is all right. I think there's always room for improvement when it comes to seaming. Seaming in whether it's knit or crochet is definitely not my strong suit, but you know, it was all right. I did do a whip stitch. And so, yeah, I really like how it turned out. I'm happy with the results. And I was looking at the colors. And you know, the nature of hand-dyed yarn is, you know, the dye lots are going to be different. Even though I dyed these together, I did like 2 skeins in one pot and then 2 skeins in another pot. And 2 of the skeins ended up turning out lighter than the other. And so what I did was I did 2 skeins of the darker red on one side and 2 skeins of the lighter red on the other side. And that way, no matter which way I put it on, it's gonna look fine either way. I did put a little stitch marker in here to kind of remind me of where the back is, but truly both sides are identical and you can wear it whatever way you want to. And so I was inspired to make this by my friend Julie, aka You Crochet on Instagram. She made this, and I have a habit of crocheting whatever my friends make. We have similar taste in crochet and things like that, and a lot of times I do fit into their size range. And so I'm like, okay, if it looks good on them, I think it'll look all right on me. And so I was inspired by Julie to make this, and it's lovely. It really, really is lovely. I originally crocheted this top in the size large. However, it was way too big. I mean, way too big. So I had to rip out the entire thing. I had to rip out this entire garment because it was way too big. And you know what? Maybe if I would have done a gauge swatch, I wouldn't have had this problem. But we'll never know now. So it was way too big, y'all. I tried to make this thing work the best I could. I was like, okay, let me add a little belt to it. Let me do this. Let me do that. And y'all, it just was not working. I was just not vibing with it. And so it only took me about, I think it took me 10 days to make this. And that included blocking and everything. And also another thing when it comes to blocking and seaming, I actually finished each side. And then like after I finished one of the sides, I wet blocked it right away while I worked on the other one. So I blocked each panel separately and then I sewed them together. And that way the fabric was already stretched out before I seamed it together. But anyway, y'all, it was way too big on me. It looked like a tent, okay? And that's not the look that I was going for. So anyway, I ripped it all out and I crocheted it in a size medium. And yeah, I am so happy with the end results now. So the only thing I would say that I didn't like is my choice of yarn in using a cotton blend yarn. It did not drape as well as I wanted to. It did not drape as well as the pictures, and that's on me. That's not the pattern. Um, the cotton is just, it kind of like, I don't really know the way to describe it. It kind of balloons out a little bit in the back, but that's it. And so in the pattern, there's supposed to be more of like a kind of like this kind of shape in the front, like a ruffle shape in the front. But because the cotton really doesn't give a whole lot, it really doesn't do that. So if I make this again, and I probably will, I will either use a 100% superwash merino yarn or a 100% acrylic, but I won't be using cotton unless I can find like, I don't know, a super drapey type of cotton. In fact, y'all let me know what's a good cotton for making garments that's gonna drape very well, that's gonna lay very well. I am familiar with Pima cotton, and I'm sure there's a few others. And so let me know if you use Pima cotton or if there's another cotton that you like that just drapes really well. I would really like to know. But you know what? Like I said, I love this top and I cannot wait to wear it with shorts, dresses, skirts, and all that kind of good stuff. My friends and I went to the Southern Comfort Fiber Fest. And y'all, you heard that right. It's called the Southern Comfort Fiber Fest. I know some of y'all are thinking about the alcohol, but no. This is a fiber festival. And I'm telling y'all, we had a great time. It was fantastic. It was in Charlotte, North Carolina, so it was nice to go there. I hadn't been there in a long time. It was fantastic. So while I was there, I looked at yarn, I squished yarn, and everybody ended up buying something. It was just fantastic. And so I went to the Fiber Festival with a goal in mind. I want buttons. That's what I want. I want buttons. And so I have a knit cardigan that I want to make sometime this year. Hopefully this fall I'll get to knit that. But anyway, I wanted some buttons. And so I went to the booth of CF Tomchick Designs, and that's by Courtney Tomchick, and she is out of Clemens, North Carolina. And so she made these beautiful handmade buttons. They are absolutely fantastic, and I have bought buttons from her before at the Carolina Fiber Festival. And even though I didn't buy any yarn, I had a great time. And there was a lot of vendors there. I mean, there was weaving, there was spinning, there was knitting samples and crochet samples. And I mean, it was amazing. It was the first time I've ever been to this fiber festival, and it's a fairly new fiber festival. Yeah, 2 or 3 years, I believe they've been doing this, but it was so wonderful. The venue was nice. The people there were so nice and warm and welcoming, and we had a blast. links in the description box below to all of my favorite crochet tools and all that fun stuff. Also, check out my YouTube community tab. I ask a lot of fun questions there, and I love reading you all's responses. And let me know what you worked on while watching. I actually took the day off today, so I've just been catching up on YouTube videos, and I got a few errands to run this afternoon, but y'all, it is so hot. We will see how much I get done, okay? It is so hot. But anyway, I'm sure most people are experiencing that if you live in this hemisphere. It is hot right now, and I think a lot of us can't wait until fall. But anyway, y'all, I will leave my Ko-Fi link below. Make sure you check me out on Instagram. And thank you so much for watching. And if you want to continue watching more of my videos, you can simply click on one of the boxes on the end screen. And so until next time, bye.